station, they need another thing, you know, little by little. And then all of a sudden, all of the resources, all of the things that we actually sign into law and treaty law. By the way, treaties are actually, they supersede federal law, right? They are the first and biggest agreements that our government has with our native tribes. And they, as sovereign nations, have the right to make sure that they are able to preserve their sustainable resources.
That's right.
So right now, and I know the young people here, they don't love homework. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna assign you 3 things to do. So there's 3 things, 3 actions for this action, right? And one of them is to make sure that you are calling your legislators, your Congress members, right? To make sure that they are actually signing on to Jamal Bowman's letter. In New York, we have the majority of our Democratic Congress members sign on to this letter to make sure that we are stopping the Willow Project. Unfortunately, the guy I ran against actually is not on this letter because he actually has investments that will, you know, in the oil companies that are going to get rich from this. So I think it's very important that we are asking all of our Democratic leaders. In fact, the Democratic, you know, representative here in this area is actually on this letter. Thank you, Jerry Nadler. So I want to make sure that we are actually fighting to make sure that we are actually having all of our Congress members on this letter. That is very important because we need the ammunition to fight, right? The second thing I want you to do, I want you to join one of our amazing organizations here today so that we can continue this fight and make sure that we are building numbers. We have to make sure that we have Sunrise Movement. Sunrise. That we are fighting to hear New York Communities for Change. Right? Join us so that we can continue to fight for all of our community here as well. And then, of course, the overall global climate initiatives, right? And I think that the last thing I want you to do is to make sure that you're all talking to one another, right? Connect with somebody next to you so that the next movement and the next movement and the next action and the next action, you have somebody to go with. So, thank you so much for having me. I cannot wait to continue to join you. Thank you.
All right, you all. So we are gathered here today because President Biden, while ignoring our cries and our needs, is at a fundraiser that costs $25,000 per plate.
Whoa! 25,000.
At an apartment that is worth $24.9 million.
Oh!
Owned by billionaire Tony James, who used to be the executive vice president of Blackstone. And meanwhile, 3 million people have signed the Stop Willow petition, and he hasn't listened to us because he's too busy whining and dining with billionaires. They said he had to approve Willow in order to get reelected. And his approval ratings have gone down since he approved Willow.
That's right.
Climate voters elected you, Joe!
Yes, climate voters elected Joe Biden, and we cannot and will not be ignored. This is a president who bowed down to Lisa Murkowski, who wanted hundreds of thousands of barrels of oil produced every day in her state. This is not some legislative mastermind we are dealing with in this president. This is a president who is out of his depths, giving away our future, our planet, our air, everything we love for what? For for nothing to enrich a few billionaires. So we are going to show up, and we are going to keep showing up and keep growing, because this stuff is working. We are making a difference. We are having an impact. Today, a few of us tried to show up to a speech by John Podesta, and they had every type of security imaginable because they saw us shut down a John Podesta speech 2 weeks ago, and they know they can't argue with us on the merits, so they hire every genre of security guard to protect John Podesta from hearing from us.
Shame.
But that's okay, because we blockaded John Podesta's SUV when he was on the way out. So, direct action is effective. Direct action works. We need to be more disruptive, more confrontational, more intense.
Let's do it!
It's what we need. This stuff works. 2 weeks ago, several of us blockaded the White House Correspondence Dinner. Which of you all came down for that? There are a few folks here came down. This stuff makes a difference. Blockading the Correspondence Dinner, we turned away Secret Service members. They tried to drive into us, but we held our ground, and they had to turn around. This stuff is really making a big difference. I'll share one story from the Correspondence Dinner. U.S. Senator Tina Smith from Minnesota had yet to come out against the Line 3 pipeline in her own home state. And she had been asked many times for years. And as U.S. Senator Tina Smith was trying to wade through our blockade, she came out against Line 3 for the first time ever. Yes, amen. So, keep showing up, keep fighting, keep putting on the pressure. They are scared of us because this is working. We shut down 3 back-to-back speeches by Ali Zaidi, the White House climate advisor, and by the third one, all of the staff had all of our, faces and names memorized. People in DC and elsewhere are starting to get really nervous because they see our movement coming, and they are, they know we have the facts on our side, and they know we have the people, and they're feeling the heat. So please keep doing this, and I will turn it over to Jonathan.
Biden, drop fossil fuels. Biden.
Biden, drop fossil fuels.
Biden.
Drop fossil fuels.
Biden.
Drop fossil fuels.
Biden.
Drop fossil fuels.
Biden.
Fossil fuels.
Biden.
Drop fossil fuels.
Biden.
Fossil fuels.
Biden.
Fossil fuels.
All right. So, Joe Biden is up in this Upper East Side penthouse right there, right now, raising
Penthouse.
thousands and thousands of dollars from Wall Street executives instead of actually doing what he committed he was going to do when he ran for president, which is shut down fossil fuel projects all across this country and start to phase out the fossil fuel industry. That is exactly the opposite of what Joseph Biden is doing. He just approved Willow Pipeline, and he's about to approve a bunch more fossil fuel projects. So as he runs for president, we are here to send a message to Joseph Biden that he is not going to get reelected with all of those people that supported him when he said he would shut down fossil fuel projects across this country. Am I right?
You are right.
Am I right?
You are right.
So he needs to hear it everywhere he goes, that people are not going to show up and vote when they voted for a president who claimed they were going to do one thing and then turned around and did something completely different. So we need to stay on him, because the only way he gets elected again is with all of us, and the only way we save this planet is by forcing him to shut down the fossil fuel industry. All right? All right.
Biden's right
So
up
we're
there.
gonna wrap up, but we're gonna stay on Joe Biden this entire presidential campaign to keep his promise to what he said he was gonna do. And we want everyone to join us and show up with more people, all right?
Yeah.
Biden! Off fossil fuels! Biden!
Off fossil fuels.
Biden!
Off fossil fuels.
Biden!
Off fossil fuels.
Biden!
Off fossil fuels.
Biden!
Off fossil fuels.